Rich Rising, it is Bit Buddha back again with another video. A lot has changed. A lot has changed in my life recently, and I feel like it's important for me to give updates so I can look back on and other people in like the tech industry and the cyber industry and the Linux industry, because that's people in general to look back on my journey. So I think the last video I made was it in Arkansas? I'm not sure. Anyway, I moved back to Florida in January, right? Because my last cyber role, I kind of got laid off due to the government stuff, and I came back here, and I've been filing for these different grants, right? So when you're unemployed in Florida, they have these different grants, and I was able to qualify for the WIOA grant, like the Workforce Improvement and Something Development Grant. Anyway, it's like a $12K grant that covers the school that I'm currently at, right? It's called PC Professor. It's in like Boca, right? And basically I get a training where they're going to give me my CompTIA A plus, Net plus. I already have my Sec plus, but I'm trying to switch it out. And also 3 Cisco certifications, 3 AWS certifications, and 3 Azure certifications, right? And on top of that, there's this other thing called the Urban League, right? And they're gonna give me a grant from my RCSA. I just have to go to a couple of the workshops. So right now I'm studying at PC Professor. I'm studying for my A plus, right? My CompTIA A plus. And we've just finished like core 1 this week, and next week we're going to move on to core 2 and start building our computer. Oh, the next video I might actually make a video of my computer once I build it. But then, so I've been studying for the A plus, but then also my RCSA, right? I've been trying to get it as close to the exam environment as possible, right? Because this year they changed it to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, right? And I was using like 9, but they switched it to 10, right? So I've been trying to get my computers as close to the Red Hat Enterprise 10 as possible. And today is like Saturday. Since last Saturday, it's been like so much like technical stuff, right? And I just want to document it because I feel like I love Linux, right? I will always love Linux, right? But it is tremendous amounts of effort and energy to make stuff work, right? So first I'm gonna just show you my environment right now. Oh, I can't even turn my screen. Well, I think it will work. Anyway, I'll try and show you it. So this is my MacBook, right? This is a MacBook from 2010, right? But I'm running it on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, right? So it's running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, right? And there's all like the data if you want to see it. But the thing with that, this MacBook, okay, so how do I explain this? So there's these things called drivers, right? Drivers are basically how different types of like hardware like interact with different types of software. Pretty much, it's basically like the middleman between so you see this like this USB flash drive that has a driver that connects to the kind of computer that kind of makes the interface between them, right? So with MacBook and Apple, they have proprietary drivers, right? Which means that the code isn't known to the public. Like you could like download it, right? But it's not, you can't really see the inner workings of it, right? And since I'm running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, and this is a fairly new distro operating system server or whatever, right? They don't have these proprietary drivers that Mac sent out in 2015, right? Especially since like Red Hat Enterprise Linux is so new. If I was on like 9 or like 7 or 8, it probably would have like been up to date. But since it's like such a new system, it doesn't have these proprietary drivers, right? So basically I can't, the Wi-Fi is working on it, right? And that's why I'm connected to these you see I'm connected to this Ethernet, right? An Ethernet to even do anything on it. So that's an issue, right? But I'm thinking outside of that, I may just get an external USB and hopefully get an external USB that runs with Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10.1, right? So that's the issue with that one, right? This is like an HP. I think it's from like 2010. Like this is an ancient, right? But it's running, you see, it's running Alma Linux, right? So in the Red Hat ecosystem, right? Red Hat Enterprise Linux is like the leading enterprise Linux provider in the USA, right? And then they have these things called upstream distro. Upstream basically means that the changes start there and then they go downstream. Imagine like if imagine a river, right? And I'm upstream and I drop a mango in it, and you're downstream and you pick up the mango, right? That's kind of how it works, right? So upstream from Red Hat is the closest is CentOS Stream, right? It used to be CentOS, but then they like killed off the normal CentOS, and then they changed it upstream to CentOS Stream, right? And then more upstream from that is Fedora Linux, right? So it goes like Fedora Linux super upstream, then CentOS Stream, then Red Hat Enterprise Linux. And then from Red Hat Enterprise Linux, they have distros that are basically clones or copies, right? And then they have ones that are bug for bug, like binary compatible, which means that like it works like exactly the way that Red Hat Enterprise Linux will work, and that would be Rocky Linux, right? But then they also have Alma Linux, which is application binary compatible. It's compatible, but not as much as Rocky Linux, right? And then they also have Oracle Linux, which has unbreakable. It has a thing where it has an unbreakable kernel, so you can run Oracle Linux, which is basically a copy of Red Hat, but you could also run Oracle Linux with their own kernel, like their own kernel that works with the Oracle like cloud stuff, right? And actually, you can see here. I want you to see this. So you see all these, right? Literally, bro. Like, let me show you this. Literally, I installed like every single copy or version of Red Hat you could even think about. I've tried like Red Hat Enterprise, like 10, 10.1, 9.7, Oracle Linux, Rocky Linux, Alma Linux. Like, I've been trying to get all my laptops as close to Red Hat as possible. The issue with this laptop is so old, right? And Red Hat Enterprise Linux, they recently moved to x86 64 version 3. So version 3 is basically a new CPU version that Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10.1, Rocky, and Oracle follow, right? But Alma, shout out to the Alma team, like I'm very grateful to them. They still are running like Alma Linux, which is based upon Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, but they allow for version 2 for x86 64. So they allow for older hardware to be run in like a modern way. So shout out to the Alma team. I'm very grateful to them. Also, so this is my other laptop. This is an HP I bought like probably a year or two ago, right? So this, same thing. This one, a very interesting issue. Like, so they have this thing called VMD, right? Which is like, what does VMD stand for? Virtual. So basically the CPU, right, on this, it's a new type of CPU where they basically, the way that they describe it, they like block you. Not that they block you. Anyway, when I would boot these, USB discs into this laptop, right, it didn't notice my laptop. I mean, my hard drive, right? And I was so confused because with Fedora Linux, or no, so let me also explain. This right now, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is running on this USB drive. It's not actually running on like the actual hard drive, right? On the actual hard drive, I've just installed Fedora 44 because that just came out like a couple days ago. But it's weird because with all of the Red Hat ones, they don't notice my hard drive. And there's a technical name for it. I forgot. I believe it's called VMD. Give me a second. I'm not going to take too long. If I could, virtual management something. I'm going to find the name and I'm going to put it in the description. Anyway, for some reason, the Intel, they kind of like stop. I don't know, it's a weird thing where like they like the hard drive it didn't notice because it's like such a new hard drive mixed with like the CPU. It's really a weird thing. Like, it's really absurd. But the same issue with this, when I run off the USB, it doesn't connect to the internet, right? So I think I'm gonna have to get 2 external USB Wi-Fi adapters to basically make it work. So that was really weird. I want to find the name of that thing so bad, bro. I want to find the name of that thing so bad. It's called VMD something. Now I'm gonna find it. I'm sorry. you guys gotta wait. Give me a second. I will try and chop this out, but if not, just skip like a minute or two ahead because I gotta find this phone, bro. Come on. Where we at? VMD. Anyway, I'll put it in the description. Anyway, it was some weird technical issue with these new like CPUs where they basically stop the hard drive from being noticed or something like that. And I tried to edit it the best I could, but that wasn't working. But anyway, all this to say, I was speaking to my mentors and my teachers like, oh, why don't you just install it on like a VirtualBox? Like, why are you trying to install Linux like bare metal? Like, why would you ever do this? Okay, fair. I do understand Linux can be tremendously a lot of effort for people, right? But the thing is, when you do it bare metal, you notice things and you feel things that you will not see in the VirtualBox, right? And example, like this morning on my Red Hat, I tried to like do sudo DNF update, right? And for some reason it's saying like the GPG keys aren't noticed. So with these GPG keys, all right, with DNF update, it basically looks at these different repositories to get your packages, right? With GPG keys, the person who makes that package or software, they sign the key, and the GPG key basically verifies that that's the same exact package that the person sent you, right? Or like made, right? And for some reason it wasn't working, I guess because it's like so new, and I guess the GPG keys are being updated or something, I don't know. So I was trying to figure that out, right? But I don't think, even on my Alma Linux, that stuff didn't pop up at all, right? And Alma Linux is fairly close to Red Hat, right? But the fact it didn't even show up means it's like, it's close, but I'm trying to be as close to the exam as possible. Like this book right here, bro, I'm trying to be like in it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I only do this for study and during my normal day I'm doing this. And no, bro, if Red Hat is the way, because I've been using Linux for years, right? I've been using Linux for years personally, right? I've used Ubuntu, Kubuntu, Tiny Core Linux, Kali Linux, right? I've used all these different types of distros, right? And I could easily go over to the Arch Linux world and just like rice up my system, being a personal desktop, perfectly smooth, right? But I'm realizing people make money, right? I'm realizing that people make money with this Linux stuff, right? And if people are saying that Red Hat is the way, I'm gonna be like so deep in it that like literally it'll be my daily driver. Like literally now, as you can see, I have 3 laptops, well, 2 laptops running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10.1, and this other laptop running Alma Linux, which is like fairly close. But the thing now, I think the other way to get as close to, or no, so that thing is with this one, right? Running it off a USB, like it's cool, like it's working now, but I feel in the long term that's not what I want to do. What I actually think I'm gonna do, I'm learning more about KVM, which is kernel virtual machine, which is basically you can run it's a hypervisor, right? A hypervisor basically allows you to run a virtual machine on your system, right? So if you're running like Windows, you can run Linux on your machine. Or if you run in Linux, you can run Windows or Mac on your machine. It basically allows you to add other operating systems into your operating system, right? But KVM is a hypervisor 1, which like is a deeper on the like closer to the hardware, and hypervisor 2 is like VirtualBox, right? And I've used VirtualBox in the past, but it's more so like abstracted, right? Well, with KVM, it's more so deeper to the kernel, right? And me wanting to be a kernel dev in the future anyway, right? I think it's gonna be more fun. So the thing now, I installed let me explain what this is. This laptop is actually running Fedora 44, right? But on the USB, I'm running Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, right? So it's kind of running 2 systems. But the thing I want to do with this, I want to so I'm going to be running Fedora, right? But with Red Hat Enterprise Linux in KVM, and give the virtual machine on KVM as much resource in the RAM as possible. Because for some reason, I don't know why, like it's called VMD. It's called VMD. I'm gonna put it in the description. There's some weird thing where they don't notice my hard drive. Like when I try to boot into the system, it does not notice my hard drive, and it's very weird. It's very, very weird. But the thing is, so it's running Fedora 44 technically, and I want to run Red Hat Enterprise Linux on KVM and give it as much resources as possible. So basically it'd be like a 40%, like a 10% Fedora, 20% Fedora, and like 80% Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So I won't need to boot from this USB anymore, right? Because the USB is like, it's cool, but it's not like a long-term solution. And then with this, right, with this laptop, as I said, it's running x86 64 version 2. And you know, with Red Hat now, they're running x86 64 version 3. So Alma Linux was the closest I could get, right? Because it even installed, I tried Red Hat, it just, the screen went black. Like it didn't even like nothing. The screen was just black. It's like, bro, we're not doing this, right? But I'm gonna try and see if I can run KVM and Alma Linux and run Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10 in my Alma Linux V2 and see if I could get that closer to Red Hat. And this one, all I gotta do with this is just get the Wi-Fi adapter. So the thing I got to now get 2 Wi-Fi adapters, one for this MacBook since it has proprietary Wi-Fi drivers from 2015, and then this I need a Wi-Fi because you know this is like connected to the PC. This is running is to Ethernet too. So that no. So this only needs the Ethernet when I'm on Red Hat, but when I'm on Fedora, I don't need it, and it notices the Wi-Fi card, right? So if I'm running Fedora as my main operating system, I won't need this no more, and then I could run Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10 in the KVM, and then I think I should be good from that. So we'll kind of, this running the KVM, it'll get rid of me having to run it on the USB, and it'll get rid of me having to use the Ethernet. So that's my plan for now, to get this on the KVM, get this on the KVM, and get an external Wi-Fi adapter for this, and then like I'm just neck deep in Red Hat. Basically after that, I'm like the Red Hat, like I am the Red Hat. Like I am Red Hat after that. So I just wanted to share my plan, and also I'm studying for my CompTIA A+. I plan to take it probably today's Saturday, probably next Saturday. I got to speak to the people at the school. Well, I'm actually at the school now. Like if you look around, I'm actually in the school now. They let me kind of use this during the day when I'm just tinkering around. So that's my plan, just to like, so I'm getting close, right? It's been like, when I tell you, bro, the amount of commands I've looked through this past week just for the most basic things, I understand why people don't use Linux. Like I actually understand, bro. Like if you want like a simple, if you're a business, or if you want a simple life, or if you're like, you don't like to get into the nitty gritty, stick with Windows, stick with Mac. I won't even judge you at all. Like I've suffered with Linux enough to like know the pain of it, right? But yeah, so yeah, I'm studying. Shout out to PC Professor, shout out to Florida for the WIOA grant. I'm looking forward to getting my A+, Net+, and then the CCNA stuff in the future. Shout out to all the teachers here. I definitely appreciate it. The Urban League, I gotta get in touch with the Urban League, because like I'm neck deep. Like I'm neck deep in Red Hat, right? So this is gonna be like, this is more than like a home lab. This is pretty much my life. Like when I'm watching YouTube videos, when I'm watching music, I'm doing it through the Red Hat ecosystem, right? So it's like, even when I start working on like servers, to me it's gonna be like, bro, like it's like I'm at home, or when I'm like working or something. That's the thing. I want to make it as close to my personal life as possible, so that when I'm working professionally, there is no contrast. It's not like I'm moving from Windows then Mac, and then at work I'm like Red Hat. No, bro, I've been using Red Hat for like when I do these interviews, I'm like, bro, I've been using Red Hat like for my daily driver for like forever, bro. Like I've been in this, right? So that's the reason I'm just very adamant at getting close to the bare metal as possible, because I feel like it gives you a level of grit that, I mean, you can, like, not to say you, nah, I'm gonna say it, you can't get it in like a VM, bro. You can't get it, because it's like a VM, you like, it's like you're safe at home, like, oh, I'm in Windows and Mac, and then like I want to try off Linux for a little bit, and then you go back, right? It's like we're at the beach, right? And like imagine Linux as like being the water, and Mac and Windows being the beach, right? Like the sand. It's like everyone is at the beach, like, oh, I'm gonna try Linux, I'm trying Linux. Then they go all like they put they put their feet in for a second, like, oh my god, I tried Linux, and then they go back to safety, right? Well, me, I'm like neck deep, like 50 feet diving right into it, you know. But yeah, I just want to share this, right? I'm gonna make a LinkedIn post for more like the technical side of it, so they can see all like the VMD and all this technical driver type stuff I was looking into, and I will link it to this video. But I had to share this, right? Because I feel like certain stuff, even if I like just made a post about it, the amount of energy could not be expressed properly through words, bruh. But no, I'm very adamant about this Linux stuff. Like I'm the Linux person, right? Of course, my teachers are telling me you have to be open. I'm going to learn more about the Microsoft side as well. I'm going to learn more about Mac. Like you have to be in this tech space. You have to be open. Of course, I'm going to learn about, because I'm going to get these Microsoft certs too, right? Like the Azure certs and all that stuff. So I'm learning about that stuff, right? But in my heart, I'm sticking with like Linux. I'm hardcore, beer like metal, as you see. As you see, bare metal, bro. All this is like running straight Linux, right? No, and you know what's funny? I was in a video chat with a friend yesterday. She's like, "Oh, you're running a MacBook?" She's like, "You can't escape that." I'm like, technically, I'm running a MacBook, but like, not really. I'm running a MacBook with Red Hat and Linux. She was like, "What?" Like, I didn't even know you could do that. But yeah, man. This has been a fun journey. This tech stuff, I'm really adamant about. I'm looking forward to all the future blessings that come with it, and yeah, I think it's worth the sacrifice. So yeah, if you just try, bro, just try. You don't gotta be as crazy as me, right? But if you are starting in the Linux space and you want money, start with Red Hat and Enterprise Linux. If you just want to be like cool and do it as personal desktop stuff, start with like Arch or Linux Mint or like Ubuntu or that like type of stuff. But me, I'm realizing I was doing that for so long, and I'm like, bro, like I didn't even realize people were getting paid for this stuff. So now I'm realizing people get paid for this stuff, and I'm trying to catch up, get caught up. But also another thing, the kernel development stuff. Like I've been watching a lot of those videos, and the Linux admin stuff is important to me, but I definitely in the future, like I'm gonna get my RCSA, my RCE, the Ansible, Python, all that stuff. That's cute, and I'm gonna do that. But I do wanna, I have to master C and Rust and assembly because the Linux kernel stuff, that's really interesting to me. Like I've been watching a lot of the videos. I'm actually in one of their trainings, the intro to Linux kernel development. So I'm gonna be looking more into that as well. But yeah, I'm excited for the Red Hat ecosystem, the Red Hat certs, Red Hat jobs. The Red Hat conference is happening next month. I'm gonna try and see if I could go to that online. And yeah, appreciate you watching this. It's like a 20-minute video, but I had to do this. Like I had to do this, bro. This is like, cause this has been so much work, bro. And I feel like people don't know what I be doing, bro. Like people don't like people like. I feel like people see me on LinkedIn like, oh yeah, he like Linux, bro. But people don't know the amount of like energy and effort this stuff takes, right? But no, I'm gonna be making more videos. Like one time, I'm gonna go to this book. I'm gonna be making more videos. I'm gonna get like a screen recorder so I could like record my screen while I'm practicing all these commands. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I see you next time. Peace.